Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 85 of the Realm Recap. I am Jason from Yakface.com, joined, as always, and it seems like it's been forever, by Flying.
Yeah, I know. It feels like a long time. People have been asking on Twitter, when are you guys coming back? It's like, it's only been like 10 days or something, really?
Yeah, it seems. Yeah. I think everyone in the toy reporting and podcasting world needed a break after,
A certain film came out.
It was the frantic lead up to the movie, and it was like, I think we just needed to catch a breath for a minute and kind of reset. And it gave me a chance to kind of, decompress a little bit, listen to some other shows and some movie analysis and all that stuff that kind of helped me digest everything that I saw at the movie, and it just kind of gave perspective on everything. I took like a total social media break, and I wasn't reporting news for a while on Yakface.com, and it felt good to kind of reset and set some priorities. As far as it doesn't have to be about Star Wars 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just maybe 22 hours a day.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we needed time to go and see this movie several times. You took your daughter. I think you've been at least probably 2-3 times or something. I don't know, probably more.
I've seen it. I've only seen it 3 times so far.
Okay.
But yeah, I took my daughter. What was it? Just over the past weekend on Saturday, we had gone, and that was her first Star Wars movie experience, and it was pretty special, I would say. I mean,
yeah.
Introducing her to that world. I mean, she watches Rebels and she knows who a lot of the characters are on that. So, for her to see Han Solo on screen, it's like, who's that? And I'm like, what? It was a different experience, but it was a fun one to be able to enjoy with her. And she loved. I wouldn't say she loved the movie. I would say she tolerated the movie. She really liked Rey and BB-8, of course.
Sure.
But it was just a fun experience that I got to have, and hopefully she remembers it if she continues to like Star Wars.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's such a changed time as well, just thinking back. I mean, again, when you and I saw a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Right.
It's quite changed days. You took a photograph of your daughter in front of the IMAX poster, which had Rey in front of it. And now the lead character is a female. It's she's the heroine. She's the real thing, and it just shows the changed times as well. How much things are positioned and different, and it's a different movie, different time. So yes, Force Awakens has finally arrived.
Yep, very enjoyable experience. I would
indeed. All good.
Yep. So we're going to get into some news stuff this week. It's not going to be as in-depth show as we've done in the past. We're just going to kind of hit some of the highlights over the past couple weeks. We'll kind of cover things that happened right around movie launch time, as well as things that just happened in the last couple days. But we want to touch on a few things, like some new product hitting stores. I think a lot of people have been starting to find the 6-inch figures again. Depending on where you live, it's always, your experiences may vary with any kind of store reporting and whatnot, but I think Walmart seems to be the place that people are finding a ton of the 6-inch line. I don't see any of these store reports really coming from Target in that respect, with figures like Hux and Asti and the TIE Pilot. I think a lot of them are showing up at Walmart. So.
And I get, we've talked about this before. I think a lot of people question that, it's in one place, why isn't it everywhere? It just does not work that way. These coming from China, they're split up and then they're sent out to stores, and it may well be that Walmart gets it first, or online gets it first, or Target gets it first, or whatever it may be. But yeah, you're right, Walmart's definitely the place. 3.75 as well has been good for you too, and me. I've found them. So hard to find still, but hopefully they'll trickle through even more. So shop troopers as well have made
a lot of it too. Also has to, it's the holiday.
Yeah.
It's, Christmas time, gift giving season. So pegs are usually pretty depleted right around that time. And I think stores are pretty decent about keeping, again, your experiences may vary, but,
Sure.
stores in my area that I visit frequently, they seem to have a pretty good supply of a lot of product, as from the 5 POA figure standpoint, not the 6
Yep.
inch, the super articulated 3.75 inch. But they still seem to keep things pretty much in stock right up until Christmas Day, and then we're pretty dwindled down. But it wasn't a terrible, like drought, let's say. I mean, Lego sold through like crazy.
Sure.
As it usually does.
Which it always does.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if people are wondering too, like, if you notice your stores aren't really seem stocked right now, it always seems like after the holidays, that's when inventory happens. And they don't put out a lot of stuff right before inventory starts because they have to count it again. If it's just all still in their boxes in their warehouse, they could just say, oh, they count one box and they know that there's 12 in a box. They don't have to worry about sifting through pegs and all that stuff. So I think once these first couple weeks of the new year kind of go by, you'll start to see some of those pegs starting to fill out in a lot of the stores.
Yep. Well, there's definitely a lot of product coming. We know that. I mean, there's enough pre-orders and product with Hasbro already, so they've got stuff waiting in the wings to fill pegs. It's not all Star Wars for sure, but it's coming. So yeah.
And it seems like always, there's those scheduled, times throughout the year. January pre-orders start to launch, and
that's right.
It
happens all the time.
You pretty much set your watch to it if you're really in tune to when orders go live and when reordering starts to happen through online sellers and whatnot. So it's not too dissimilar from what's experienced in the past. So
there's certainly a lot of stuff. There's a lot of mashers around. There's a lot of micro machines around. As you said, there's still quite a fair offering of 5 POA. But yeah, 6 inch has been, even the fins are getting taken off the shelves around me. So yeah, it's beginning to, that 6 inches has just been really, really hard to keep on the pegs. And it's a great line. It's just got, in my mind, better and better as they've gone on recently. So
there's
in
been
the last 2 weeks,
there's been a lot of cool deals to be had too. Stuff goes on clearance again right after Christmas. I mean, depending on where you live, I never saw it anywhere near me, but stores that received a lot of those 6 inch Special Forces TIE fighters, originally 170, there were stores that were selling them for under $50.
I know. And I think that, but I think that's one of those things that just, and I used to see this a lot of time when I was overseas, thinking, what is going on over there? Thinking it was everywhere.
Right.
And it's only when you're here and you really, you understand an area. It was one store potentially, and it multiplied to several stores, but it never really got to too many places because I guess it was too good a deal and it was snapped up.
Yeah,
that's ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
I have to think almost in some ways there was a 1 missing from the front of that. It was 14.90, and I think they made to put that down a 1 for it. I don't get why they had to shift them, but
yeah. They must have been sitting on a crap ton of them to shift them out at that price. I mean, the stores that had them, because I know there were some stores that did receive. They were all over the place. Stacked on the shelves above and whatnot. But those are high traffic, high volume stores, probably. So your local rural town that can support a Target probably wouldn't be able to take advantage of that kind of a deal. Because they just don't order that many or have that many on hand.
Well, they sure as hell ain't buying them at that price. So they're literally giving them away and losing money. So they
take up a lot of shelf space too. So they were losing money right off the bat, probably by having them on the shelf, considering how much real estate the shelf.
Well, there's been a few discussions. A lot of people, a few tweets. I know Stud Shooter, a friend of ours, was commenting. Asking the question, do we think that this vehicle line will still have legs? And I still strongly do think it will, just because we've seen maybe 5 stores in the US shift maybe no more than 20 to 30 of these TIE fighters is not really a strong indication in my mind that the line is dead. It's just it's a huge box. It has to be shifted. There's new stuff coming in. You know, some things get slashed and cut down in price, but it is a big box. Every store I've been in, I've seen them. They've been mutilated and ripped apart. People trying to get in to get that TIE fighter pilot out there. Hellish condition. They've all been really terrible when I've seen them. So
and some of those stores put those spider bands on them to prevent sale or theft. It's like the box is as big as.
What are you going to do? Walk out with it? I know it's crazy. I'll put that in my pocket. Yeah, sure.
But
kind of crazy. So
someone did. I saw on Twitter earlier tonight that someone did return that with the regular TIE fighter pilot switched out for the Special Forces one. So I mean, some cheap bastard out there bought it and then returned it with a decent figure at least. You know, it's not like it's just not the exclusive one. But anyway, moving on here. We've been dwelling on that for a bit. The Hasbro on their Hasbro Pulse site revealed their first official look at the 6-inch Black Series C-3PO from The Force Awakens.
And they did this on the red carpet night, the premiere, hence the red carpet there in the picture. And in a very quiet way, they just tweeted it under the Hasbro account, not the most watched account, never sent it to any fan sites.
No.
Which you'd think to maximize awareness, but no. So out it got. And, well, it's not VAC medalized. It's not what we were promised, but I certainly am not going to spit the dummy about the fact that it's not VAC medalized. It looks good. There's a larger little head. Yeah, I mean,
but again, there's better 6-inch version. People who know and people who are into the 6-inch line know that there are other manufacturers that are producing better 6-inch product. Sure, for twice the price. But if you want a really nice C-3PO, you can go elsewhere. If you want one for $20, this is a perfectly fine one.
Yep.
It's not the most action-oriented figure anyway. It's just going to stand there. He's not meant for a lot of dynamic posing.
He's not. It's 3PO. I mean...
Yeah. The VAC metalizing thing is kind of a kick in the pants. But he wasn't all that... I'm going to make an excuse here. He wasn't all that reflective in the movie anyway. He's more of a buffed finish. He wasn't like the mirror coating like he was like at the end of A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back. He was kind of more the buffed finish of Return of the Jedi when he was in the forest and stuff like that. So
exactly. So like, I mean, it's
a deep representation.
I think it's like all things. No matter what you do, there will always be people unhappy with it. But I think we're both in agreement that it's a good-looking figure. I mean, this is a glam shot, so let's reserve judgment till we finally arrive. But there seems to be decent articulation in there. You can see a little joint at the neck, and the ankles certainly have a joint there as well, and the knees, and articulation at the thighs. I'm not sure about these arms, how they're going to do that there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of elbow.
No. I don't think there is. That's kind of weird. Maybe there's a swivel joint there or something. I don't know.
Wrist.
But torso and so forth. But yeah, looking forward to getting a golden rod finally. So
yeah, it seems like that figure's been, well, it was probably pushed back because of the change in the look for The Force Awakens, but he's been rumored forever. He was on some list. I think, was that through Diamond? I think that might have.
I think so. Yeah, that was years ago, ages ago. Yeah.
Seems like it. Let's see what else we have here. More Walmart exclusive waves that have started to hit stores. Not necessarily new waves, but more of a stock of waves that we've known have been coming. For a while, I had been missing out on seeing both waves 2 and 3 at my local Walmart stores, and I did a Periscope video. It was last week. I think it might have been on New Year's Day of product that hit one of my local stores. So,
did you ever get to see the Kylo wave at all, or did you just jump straight?
I did see the Kylo wave. I was able to pick that up in December. I think that's when it was.
Yeah, that was a while back.
But
I have not seen that, Ray, and I must. I went to Chicago with the Wolfpack guys to see the Force Awakens, and we went to a lot of stores in Chicago area, which I thought, we're going to see Ray, and did not see Ray at all. Did see Poe and Finn, and I've had the Stormtrooper, but the Ray is just one hot commodity in 6-inch scale and 3.75. Anything with that girl on it is just crazy money online, absolutely crazy. So,
yeah.
And it's nice to think before the movie, you could have actually went out and found a Ray on the shelf with a BB-8 pretty easily, but not now.
No.
So
that's probably why they planned, with speaking of the 6-inch stuff, that's probably why they have her slotted into, repack or, new case assortments for 2016. They know there's going to be the demand for her out there, and Finn and Kylo Ren, which is kind of to be expected. And it's a good move on Hasbro's part in order to get some of those earlier figures back out that, people might have held off on some because they weren't sure of what their role was going to be in the film. Constable Studio. So.
Well, I mean, an interesting thing as well, just to dwell on Ray just for a second, is the 6-inch repacks that we've had over already, which some of us have been lucky enough to see. There's a bonus in that both Ray and BB-8 are touched up and improved.
Yep.
In terms of the facial paint on, no changes to the sculpts, but the paint on Ray, the one that I picked up, is much better in terms of color on her face, much less kind of geisha white paint.
Yep.
And BB-8 is also now got much more wash across his little joints and details. There's much more black in the parts of him there. So yeah, sometimes just hanging out, you get that little revision that makes quite a bit of difference. So
yeah, I've seen some reports of they've updated Kylo Ren as well.
Oh really? Okay.
He's got the scarf hood deal.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
Has a different sculpt to it. I mean, it's the same sculpt, but it's far more detailed, where you could see the pattern of the fabric sculpted into it a lot more than you could on the initial release.
That's right.
And I also thought that the soft goods are not quite as long as the first release were. So how they're almost so long where they kind of lay out on the table if you were to stand him up. These have been tailored a little bit better to be
a little shorter,
more form-fitting. So those are, as far as I know, I think he ships again with that ASTI wave of the 6-inch line.
You're right. Yes, that's correct.
People are finding those at retail. I've seen side-by-side comparison photos of the first release Kylo Ren and the one from this current wave, and there's a definite difference in the detail in that sculpt. So if people want a better version, you might want to try to seek that one out.
Well, that's something, just diving ahead a little bit there, but there's some of the revision cases. So Hasbro make these case packs where just as you said there, that's right, that's in that wave with ASTI. The Kylo is there, but it's also, there's another revision case to get more of these figures out there. Phasma again, Zuvia, which has also been vanishing from the shelves everywhere that I've seen. For a long time, people were saying, "Oh, he's a peg warmer," but no, he's gone as far as I can see. He's a good figure too, and more Kylo. So yeah, if you want to grab the improved Kylo, as Jason's saying, there's a good chance to maybe get it. So yeah.
Very good. Let's see what else. Speaking of other pre-orders, a few new pre-orders went up for preview this week at Dorkside Toys. New 6-inch figures as well as new Build-a-weapon figures.
That's right, a ton of these figures here. I'd kill the name if I try and pronounce it. Tasso Leech. Tasso Leech? Is it? Is it pronounced that way?
I don't know.
Kanja Club, which always reminds me of 80s band Kajagoogoo, but never mind. Rebel's fifth brother, Inquisitor. And Admiral Akbar and a few others have popped into the waves and the assortments. And there's a ton of them. They're really confusing, actually. I'm really lost with the whole snow, desert, jungle stuff that's going on. But
it's been tough to keep track of. Essentially, there are now. I'm trying to think how to explain this.
It's bad if we find it hard.
No,
imagine appearing on this.
If you go to the Yakface.com website and go to the toy guide for the Force Awakens products, I have it kind of broken out by, the snow, whatever they're calling it, snow assortment, the forest, the desert, and space. Let's see. If you go to toy guide, scroll down to the bottom. We're doing this live, folks, so bear with us. So you can see here, I have it.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's better.
So Space Gear Wave 1, Space Gear Wave 2, Space Gear Wave 3.
Oh, so it's actually not as many as, of course, because you're getting within the case.
I'm not including the repacks in some of these.
Sure, because obviously it has, but the way they're cased, but right, that makes more sense.
Right.
Okay.
So
each bar, yeah. Yeah, they seem to be, and it doesn't help as well. I mean, there's no real nomenclature for some of these figures. Sometimes I know he hasn't changed as such, Ezra Bridge and so forth, but there's no episode 5 or such and such outfit, or it can be very I mean, 9 Num there is really in his pilot gear,
right, from the Force Awakens.
So it's a kind of there's no kind of naming convention to kind of give these a little difference when they get into the Wave 5 and Wave 6 and Wave 7.
Yeah,
so it's confusing for fans.
For that particular wave, that Snow Gear Wave 3 that 9 Num is in, there's a figure that's in that assortment where I have the question marks. Much like how they repacked Kylo Ren and gave him a new Build-a-weapon, one of those figures in that wave is going to have to do the same thing, and I'm guessing it was probably going to be Kylo Ren for that assortment. Because there's always 3 new figures in the wave, and you know what I'm saying? Well,
for now, I guess. I mean,
right, but because it takes 3 pieces to build the Build-a-weapon. And
of course. So, okay.
So 9 Num and the First Order Stormtrooper squad leader would have new parts. So one of those repacks has to have a new part in it.
God, this is confusing.
Just idiotic. Just throw those new Build-a-weapon parts in the garbage. Just give me my figures.
Just give me the figures. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So confusing is Hasbro, and we collect the damn things. Anyway, moving on.
Sideshow and Hot Toys. A couple announcements over the past couple weeks since we did our last show. I think the main couple were the 6-scale Finn with the Riot Control Stormtrooper, which has now been dubbed Traitor.
Traitor, yeah, exactly. I'm seeing some crazy memes about this guy. It's just nuts. Just one little line is just going bananas. But
Traitor.
And it's again, I'm having a little bit sure, but Sideshow, the Riot Control Trooper, correct me if I'm wrong, is not available on his own.
That's true.
That sucks balls. That's terrible, Hot Toys. That's terrible. I want that Riot Trooper, and I really don't want the Finn. Damn.
They're great. I mean, Hot Toys actually does a fantastic job. I mean, I'm surprised the Riot Control Stormtrooper isn't available on its own. I mean, they've always broken out the duo.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I'm not sure why they didn't with this one.
Well, we've had a bit of trooper overdose, really. There's been the Jakku Trooper and the Snow Trooper, and then the Snow Trooper with the pauldron, and then the Stormtrooper with the pauldron as well. And it's like the squad leader and
heavy artillery gunner, and
it's just been nuts. So I don't know why they're not doing this one. And actually, Finn looks fantastic. He really does. But I was just trying to stick to troopers only, but so no hate mail about Finn. He looks fantastic. I love the jacket on him. He looks fantastic. So yeah, it's another great looking figure. They absolutely nailed it, and this is still the prototype. I think they've really caught John Boyega's.
The likeness is fantastic.
Isn't it just stunning? It's just, even the leather and the folds on this jacket is just epic, and that's something I really wish Hasbro had done with the blaster there, the baton.
Yep.
But looks really, really good. It's a great set. Actually, really, when you break it down, 360 for 2 figures.
That's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal. If you've not bought, and Hot Toys are superb quality. If you've never bought Hot Toys, I convinced a few people over the holidays to go Hot Toys, and they now curse my name because they want them all. So,
you know, now that you mentioned that he can't get the riot control guy on his own, this would be a great set to pick up because you get the blaster.
Yeah.
Like, you basically get your regular First Order Stormtrooper aside from the small pistol.
Absolutely.
So you're pretty much, you're saving quite a bit of money versus buying the regular Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
Yes.
it's probably a decent deal, but if you're only a trooper builder, then you have to buy the set.
But yeah, I mean, you get a great little addition. You get Finn with a lightsaber, the unlit lightsaber, the bag of bombs, all the hands, and as you said, that his weapon too. So you get, it is a good value set, I suppose. Maybe that's why they've done it as a value set, but
Yeah,
it just seems a little odd.
If you look, I think the Finn on its own is less than 200, which is kind of surprising considering Hot Toys price structure for a lot of their product.
Yeah, I think they've realized. I believe my marketing brain is telling me. I think they've realized that they've put a lot of product in front of us in a very short space of time. So yeah, at these prices, it's very hard for people to collect them. So I think they've tried to be reasonable with some of them in the sets. So hey, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But they look good.
My guess is that the next one that they reveal will be the Poe.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Let's hope they nail the facial sculpt.
And the hair.
And the hair. The curls.
Let's see, what else? Sideshow also previewed just over the, what do they call it? The 12 Days of Sideshow, whatever they're calling it. The 4LOM, 4LOM, depending on how you.
I know, there's a little
6-scale figure.
Talk about that. Yeah, that looks good. Big bug eyes there. Protocol droid with some badass, a huge gun, if I remember correctly, and big green bug eyes.
So that just leaves one of the bounty hunters left, Zuckuss.
That's right. Who always never gets done, but yeah, if you want a full set, then go for it. I have to say, I think, given some of the Sideshow Boba Fett's, for example, and some of the Hot Toys stuff, and I think I'll stick to Hot Toys. They just pip the post just a little bit better, but you're probably not going to get to see this guy in a Hot Toys version. So yeah, if you need him in 12-inch 1/6 scale, then.
And I think Sideshow distributed the Metacom version of this figure a couple of years ago.
He did. That's right.
So it's kind of a double dip on the scale. I mean, I think the Metacom ones are a tad bit shorter, even though they're in that 6-scale line.
It's weird. They're about an inch shorter than all of them for some reason. But
so, anyway, it's one that's going to go up for pre-order here soon, probably in the next week or so, I would guess. Let's see what else. Gentle Giant. Haven't heard a lot from them lately, but they did start sending out their 2015 holiday gift figures, which is the Jumbo Kenner Salacious Crumb, which is obviously a jumbo version of that pack-in figure that came with Jabba the Hutt back in '83.
It's huge.
It is huge. I mean, I know that they did make a jumbo scale Jabba that they sold. I've never seen anyone that actually bought it. I don't even know if it actually
come in a blister
for sale. I don't remember if it did or not.
Okay.
But anyway, because I think they had it on display at San Diego Comic-Con.
Wow. Okay, that's a big Jabba.
Yeah. considering how big this Salacious Crumb is. But the holiday version of this figure has a little extra bonus inside. It's got this little satchel, bag like Santa would have, and it includes a bunch of little presents, which are essentially fake presents that have Gentle Giant product, where there's like a couple mini bust boxes. There's also a C-3PO head from the Jumbo Kenner line that they've included. I don't know if I have a picture in my Instagram feed or not. Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
So a couple little boxes. One of them is I think it's a Han Solo mini bust, and then there's a Gamorrean Guard mini bust, and then a scarf and hat for Salacious Crumb to wear, which makes it look like Where's Waldo.
It looks a little like the Gremlin. I think there's that eye slits there as well, so we can pull it over.
I thought it was I tried different permutations of putting this on him. I thought it was to tuck his ear through so he could kind of wear it to the side.
Ah, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
I couldn't get it to look really all that great any way I put it on his head, so back to the bag. But the coolest part of it was included the little Jabba box. That one came with the Yoda from a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
But it included the little Kenner box, replica box of the Jabba the Hutt playset, and inside the box has a little mini Jabba the Hutt.
A little mini green poop.
It does. It looks like you sneezed in the palm of your hand, and
it's a booger. Okay.
Yeah. Jabba the booger.
It's tiny.
It's tiny, but man, is it a cool little Easter egg thing for them to throw in.
I thought they threw in just because you put it in your feed kind of next to it. I thought they repacked that in. I was like, damn, they got that back again, the Boba Fett one. But
yeah. Boba Fett one was cool.
It was cool.
I did an Instagram, or not Instagram, but I think a Periscope feed of opening that up for people who hadn't seen that before. But yeah, that Jabba the Hutt's pretty cool. For all
That's a nice little touch.
Kenner fans.
Very nice indeed. They did a good job of that stuff there. It's nice when they spend that time and attention and detail to do these little things.
Right. Moving on to Lego. Official shelf date for the new 2016 product was on the 1st, I believe. So a lot of stores who have started restocking have started placing some of that new product out. I think both you and I have found some of that product at our stores.
From what I can tell, one of the store managers that I went to I had said that the Snowtrooper set was shipping on its own as the microfetters. They just decided to get a wave of that out.
Oh, really?
Yes, there was no other ones available as of yet, because I have hunted for those things, which would kind of make sense, but to get the one that is going to be the army build or the one that people are going to go nuts about. But I've seen both these. In fact, I've seen all these sets as well that we're sharing right now.
Yeah.
Great little sets, but they're gone. I think people just snatch these things up.
My store sold out immediately of them.
Exactly. It's always the same. So, yeah, good little sets.
I didn't pick up all of them. I just picked up, I shared again on my Periscope channel yesterday or the day before, a quick review of a couple of sets, which was the Snow Speeder and the battle pack, the First Order battle pack that has the little turbo laser turret deal.
Yeah.
Nice little army builder sets, relatively inexpensive. Features, product actually in the movie.
Exactly. Well, I suppose has
sort of. I guess the Snowspeeder really.
The Snowspeeder, well, cutscene maybe. I guess you could say.
Well, it did get a little bit of play if you were looking close, but
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was more interested in the figures they came with than the builds themselves. But
I agree with you. Yeah.
What else? More Lego news. Our friend over on Stud Shooter had shared a couple things. I posted this on my Instagram feed as well. The First Order General little polybag figure. Pretty cool. Right. I'm not sure where this is going to be available. It'll probably be some sort of Lego store thing where you have to spend $75 in order to get it.
Yikes. Yeah, they eventually turn up in all sorts of places, but yeah, if you want that guy, very similar to the one which is in the battle pack actually, but he's a colored chappy. So
yeah, I couldn't remember if it was a different hat or not. It looked a little different.
Yes, you're right. It is. It's a different hat. So a different hat overall. So you got a little different kind of.
Yeah.
The wings are on that. So yeah, we're talking about. I don't think it's Hux, but I guess it would say Hux if it was. But
I think it would, but I don't know of any other generals, so I don't know.
Exactly. There's one guy in the movie who kind of freaks out a little bit at the end and says, "We're all going to die," basically, and I thought that was him. So whatever he was.
Like every general, you would want to be following. Got him losing his shit. Let's see. There's another polybag, the Finalizer, which is the flagship Star Destroyer, which was also shared by Stud Shooter, which is kind of funny. It's a pretty, it's the most basic of builds you can get, probably. Sure. Some gray bricks, and that's about it. But it was kind of funny that people pointed out, why is the Death Star 2 in the background?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
It's rather
creative. Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe it was built around that time. You never know.
Could be. Well, the other one was crashing through the surface of the Death Star.
That's true. That's true. Yes, that's true.
Built off on the other side of Endor.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Anyway, it's a polybag. I need it. And one more that was also again shared by Stud Shooter, Kylo Ren Shuttle.
That's got to be one of the most boring builds of any size or shape. It's just,
I think I can build that right now with the extra pieces that are
pretty much
with the sets that are left over.
Yeah. So yeah, more. But there's tons of these polybags. Tons and tons. God, if they came with a minifigure, I'd just be going bananas. But
yeah,
they don't. Cool.
It did look like Endor 2 kind of there in the background.
It did. It did.
Let's see. Moving on, Funko. Funko always has a lot of good stuff.
Yes, they do.
And they didn't let up at all right around the premiere of the movie. There were some new pop vinyls that were leaked out, not officially announced by them, but I think there was a wave of 6 that had shown up at Idle Hands blog, directing me to some of those. Got Admiral Akbar, and Han Solo.
I just think of the Ginger Prince now. I just think of him when I see that. But
Varmic, which is the Hask Thug, and Sidon Ethano.
I have seen these, and they are personally the Sidon or Sidon, whatever you call him, is he's gorgeous. Really awesome. Beautiful job. But the other ones are kind of. But there's another flavor of. I'm sure we've got it in the notes.
There's Leia too that's included in that assortment as well. That's not shown here.
That's right. She's pretty plain and straightforward. But there's a GameStop. Maybe you've got it in the notes there.
The next, or it's in the notes, number 3.
We'll get to it. Okay.
Yep. What else here? Finn with lightsaber. That was revealed on the Barnes & Noble website on New Year's Day. That's going to be the exclusive version there. And that includes him with a lightsaber, which is kind of cool. Looking at my other one, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
Just a different sculpt.
A few threads online on Reddit and a couple of forums, I saw that a lot of people had this cancelled by Barnes & Noble. Their orders were cancelled. So, yeah.
I've been checking every day.
Keep the page open and double check. And if you pre-ordered that, I'm sure you'll get more in time. Maybe they just oversold initially, but yeah.
Yeah. And there's going to be more exclusives too. There's going to be a Target exclusive. There'll be a Walmart exclusive, Amazon exclusive, just like when the initial wave of the Force Awakens product launched. there'll be multiple retailers with multiple exclusives. So.
And if it's anything like the previous waves of the Force Awakens pops, they will be in many places.
Yeah.
You won't be struggling to find them. The exclusives obviously will be harder to find, but yeah, the commons are incredibly common. Every store that I go into, I'm literally tripping over these things. So, so yeah.
And the one that you had just talked about before, the 9num, is exclusive to GameStop with his pilot uniform.
That's a very cool looking little pop.
Well, this says EB. What is this? EB Games. I'm not sure if they're even around in the US anymore.
I think it's Canada and Australia that EB is still around, and maybe the UK, but in the US it's GameStop. It's all the one company that owns Think Geek. I think that's the same.
Oh yeah, it's
the same company overall, just different brands for different countries.
Yep.
Yeah, because the Canada flag's in the background. Dope.
Oh, there we go.
The maple leaf. So, but GameStop in the US, you'll probably find this thing is on Pop Culture in Australia, or which ships internationally as well. So if you can't get it, yeah, don't freak out too much. It's you'll be able to get it. Pop Culture is always a good place to get that kind of stuff, exclusives that you might not be able to pick up in US stores. He's cool. I like that. Very cool indeed.
What else do we have here? Loot Crate had an exclusive pop, which was Han Solo in his snow gear from the movie, which I was able to get.
Nice. You're all pop now, aren't you?
What's that?
You've gone down the dark side.
I know. I have. I still need 2 plus the 9 that we're showing here in the notes, but yeah, I've pretty much caught up with the Force Awakens pops.
What 2 is it you need, or what?
I still need to buy that Chewie.
He's awesome. I love that Chewie. Great sculpt.
And I don't see it anywhere now that I want it.
I think I know a place that has it. So.
Oh, and the Amazon exclusive.
Amazon exclusive?
There's an Amazon exclusive first order stormtrooper that has a or some sort of.
It's heavy duty, I should say.
Yep, I need that one. Yeah.
There you go. If someone's watching, help Jason out. Help his pop addiction. All good.
Smuggler's Bounty. That is wrapping up here. The next box, the Resistance box, is wrapping up here in about 10 days. And if you recall the previous box, the first order box that came out, they had the exclusive chrome-plated Captain Phasma as well as one of 2 TIE pilots. So if you're looking to be all in or completist on the pops for the Force Awakens, you'll probably want to get in on this Smuggler's Bounty box that is a Resistance box, which should include 2 pops as well and a 3rd variant.
Now, I don't know if you know about this, and maybe others do or don't, but we'll tell our viewers about this. But I subscribed to the Marvel Collectors Corps when I found out that you could. I wanted the Hulkbuster, and I waited stupidly until the thing had came out and so forth, and it had gone up to like $40-50 on eBay. So I still decided I wanted it. I subscribed to the Deadpool box, which I think is February. It comes out, and once you're through the checkout, it allows you to go back through and buy any of the older boxes. So if you're a Smuggler's Bounty fan and you're desperate to try and get a first order or take your luck at getting a first order or the Chrome Phasma, you should be able, because it's the same company, same website, same structure, it's Funko, subscribe to get the next box, a Resistance box, and once you check out, you will probably be given the option to purchase the previous box.
Yep.
So I don't know if you knew that or not, but
yeah, I had heard that as well, and I thought that was it's a cool option to give to people that do subscribe and want to make sure they're up to date on those. So
yep. So they keep it a little quiet and don't mention it. I guess they want to push that exclusive angle and get people signing up, but it seems there's plenty if you go through the option, and yeah, you should be given the option to then purchase. So yeah, I wonder who this Resistance. I mean, I think they mentioned Spoiler alert, I guess. But there was the rumor was it was flocked in some way.
I would guess we would be getting a flocked Chewie from The Force Awakens. That'd be my guess. I mean, it makes the most sense, I guess.
But then another pop in the box, maybe a second one again.
I was contemplating, because they went with the pilots for the first one, that we might get some Resistance pilots again for the Resistance box, and I'm hoping we get like Snap Wexley. Which
Asti, something like that.
Asti or something like that. That would be a cool option to give. I would guess that they would probably go with repaints for the versions. So whatever you offer, whatever the pilot is, would have to be easily repainted for the second one. So I don't know what they would do there.
I'm thinking maybe, I mean, again, we've only got one box to base it on, and we'll find out, I'm sure, soon enough. But the first box had Phasma on it, and you got a Phasma in the box.
Dirty BB-8.
Dirty, there you go. Dirty BB-8. He's a bad boy. He's hitting the clubs and doing body
he's got his little flame thing coming out.
That could be it, dude.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, I think, and he's such a popular character that would certainly boost the awareness of this. So yeah, if it's a BB, I'm kind of very, very tempted. He's such a great little pop, and probably the most popular of all the Star Wars pop. From all the pop fanatics I've spoken to, he's the one who's just flown off the shelf.
Yeah.
So yeah, good little box if you want to subscribe.
Good deal. And finally, with the Funko news here, they revealed, or pre-orders had opened up for the rumored Rancor. That includes the Luke and Ula, slave Ula. I guess that's okay.
That's true. It says slave Ula.
It does say that on the box. The set, you can order that through Entertainment Earth, or I'm sure other retailers will have that up as well. But yeah, that's not coming for another 6 months, or 6 months, something like that. So
that's a Diamond Comics, a Diamond distribution one.
Oh,
so you're going to get this everywhere. So comic shops but just to interject there very briefly, the slave Leia or Princess Leia with metal bikini, that's going for crazy money right now. People are paying like $70 to $80 for that thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's nuts. It's absolutely
I saw them on clearance, I thought, at Walmart for 10.
Well, some people, I don't know who, some people are paying crazy money for it. So
I think both that and the
do-bag seems to be plentiful.
Yeah.
The Jabba seemed to be. I wonder if we caused a fuss about the slave Ula, we'd be on network television.
Oh!
It's an outrage. No, it's not really. So yeah. Cool.
I sense another hashtag coming. I'm feigning outrage over slave Ula.
What are we going to call slave one now? Are we going to just call it metal shit? Or like, come on, it's just some people take stuff so far. Anyway.
What else? Couple quick things here regarding TV, movie, book, and game news. As we all know, Force Awakens came out a couple weeks ago. As we mentioned at the top of the show, I've seen it 3 times. I'd probably see it a couple more times in the theater before it comes out again on the Blu-ray release. Just, there's nothing like seeing Star Wars in the theater for that experience. So you and I had talked with other guys from First Order Transmission, the night of, I think it was. Was it the night of, or was it?
It was the very night at 1 a.m. in the morning. We were all falling asleep. So it was terrible. Okay. Anyway,
now that you've seen it a couple times and had everything sink in, how do you rate it in comparison to the other movies of the franchise?
Look, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't mention the prequels. I think it was a better film in terms of feeling of Star Wars, props, sound, than the prequels. story was good, but certainly, I mean, I kind of rank my kind of personal rank is Empire, New Hope, Jedi, and then I think The Force Awakens. So kind of fourth on my list, which a lot of people have been like, "Oh, that's terrible! It's the best movie ever," and I'm like, no, it's really not in my view. It's a great movie. It's a Star Wars movie. It feels wonderful. Clearly, it's now the biggest box office movie ever, pretty much, or just about to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, standing back from it a little bit, it's not perfect. It's definitely got a few questions, and we're going to find stuff out. But it's a great movie. It looks Star Wars. It feels Star Wars. Those troopers, the Falcon, Rey, John Boyega, they just and Oscar Isaacs. They look like a great bunch of characters that are going to take us forward. And even emo Kylo was fantastic, and so I loved it. What about you?
Yep, I'm right there with you. I rank it fourth. It's going to be tough, no matter what Star Wars movie comes out from here to the end of time, to unseat the original trilogy from my mind. You know, younger people who don't have the 30+ years of experience with the original movies, they don't have that history to overcome.
Sure.
You just won't beat The Empire Strikes Back for me. And again, it's A New Hope second, Return of the Jedi third, and then The Force Awakens. A lot of that has to do with, like I said, those were the original trilogy. The Force Awakens is fourth because it includes original trilogy characters, and it continues the story of the original trilogy. It's not, you know, the prequel trilogy was, I'm going to say, handicapped by the fact that you know knew where everything was going.
You had a beginning and an end you had to match up with.
Right.
Almost.
There was still a lot of goodness in between episodes 1 and 3. There's a great story arc in there.
Yeah, definitely.
The Force Awakens is something new. You don't know where it's going. There's all of these questions out there. I mean, if you get on social media, you have people still thinking, you know, Snoke is Plagueis, and you have
Luke is Kylo Ren. Yes.
Is Rey Luke's daughter, or is it Kenobi's relative, or is it Han's, half whatever. There's just so many questions out there, and that's what makes this new movie so intriguing. And the fact that it's kind of it does feel like a reboot in a way.
Mm-hmm. I think. Sorry, on you go. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel in some ways that we've seen already those, and we'll talk maybe more about it the next show we do, but the 20 or so deleted scenes have been kind of bandied around in some screenshots, and GG's confirmed there's quite a few, and we hopefully will get to see them in some kind of format. I'd love to see them recut and placed. I felt it was a little rushed in some ways, The Force Awakens. And this, I mean, no matter what you could do with this movie, I mean, so much scrutiny, so much kind of... so much was riding in this thing. I mean, it was almost what a hell of a weight on J.J. Abrams and everyone else's, the actors and people involved, shoulders to get this thing out.
Right.
But I'd like to see it with a little more time and on Blu-ray, and just take the time and just having those other scenes and times and commentaries and just seeing how it really all kind of came together a little bit more. Because I think the first time, probably like you, we were just so... what's going on? Did I miss a bit there? And it was just frantic. And even the second time or third time, it was just still a lot to take in and a lot of questions. So
yeah,
still early days.
Yeah. And there's a lot of tie-in supplemental material that really help to explain a lot of the questions that are out there. It's like people didn't understand, I think even still I have questions about, how does the New Republic relate to the Resistance, relate to the First Order? There's a lot of questions there that are answered in the novel that's coming out tomorrow, as well as, there's the books, there's the visual dictionary that's out there, the cross sections. There's a lot of supplemental material that will help complete that story. You shouldn't have to rely on that in order to enjoy the movie on its own, but it does help.
Oh, it's. I think you picked them up as well. The visual dictionary and the.
Yeah.
You did, didn't you? I think we spoke about it, but I thought the arts of Star Wars: The Force Awakens was just gorgeous. That was really the best one for me. The just sharing some images on screen here that are maybe a little small, but if you give us a chance here for Amazon to load, we'll get a better look at it. But I thought this was great. Seeing some of the concepts, the thrown away concepts, which never really made it to the screen. Snoke, the designs, the beautiful, beautiful artwork. Lots of kind of different, unusual aliens. I've seen people making 6-inch figures of this already. Some of the talented people you and I have shared.
Right.
All the troopers and all the stuff, helmet designs. What was going to happen to Luke was fascinating in this book if you haven't seen it. How his evolution of coming about was kind of freaky, very morbid, and almost like aliens in some way. It was very gothic. But these are great books. They're really good. The visual dictionary is a little light for me. It's a little thin, but it's still a great book.
There's a lot of dense material in it. I mean, even though it's a very, the book is more about the visuals than the text, but in the text, there's a lot of minutia in there that really helps to flesh out some of the questions and, who people are and, what, just some of the little details that you just like to pick the heck out of,
Yep.
Names of weapons and
exactly.
It's really great for that type of stuff.
Who we never really got to see, but yeah, they're names of characters, and it's just beautiful. There's got to be such a ton of rich, deep making of and other material, and I'm a little bit pessimistic that Disney will not release this as abundantly. If you look at some of the Marvel, which is Disney, Blu-rays and DVDs, they've been very scant of detail and all the kind of stuff that you and I and real fanboys and girls out there really want to see. And I just don't think they're maybe going to put it on the Blu-rays, which is going to be such a shame, because if you've watched movies like Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit trilogy, the Blu-rays are just, they're unbelievably packed, 6 to 12 hours in some cases of behind the scenes, and I want to see all this stuff.
Even with the Marvel, they have the different, mega phase 1, phase 2 box set things that you purchase in order to get a lot of that supplemental material.
That's true. It's a good point.
I can imagine something similar, each time one of the new sequel trilogy movies comes out on Blu-ray.
A little Starkiller base that lights up red and then discs. I'm copying the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Darth Vader helmet that melted.
Yeah, exactly. So I hate those things. Don't need them. But yeah, there's still a thirst, I think, to surmise what we're saying of information to see, and the novelization, as we said, Alan Dean Forster's back doing it. So that'll be good.
Sounds good. And then, if that wasn't enough, we have less than a year until another Star Wars movie comes out, Rogue One.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And a very different looking movie overall, a very dark. If you've seen Looper, the director of Looper is making this movie, and that's promising. That was a very mature film in some ways. Looking forward to it. Rogue One should be good. On to some reviews, maybe?
Yep, I think we touched on this a little bit before. You and I both touched on some Lego bits that we had done. We reviewed the Snowspeeder as well as the First Order Battle Pack, and you had done some additional ones, some 6-inch figures.
Yeah, just the 3.75 we discussed that you and I had found, the Poe and the Finn, took a look at those just in some detail. They're great little figures for 3.75 inch. I really don't mind paying the price when they're good. So articulation is really good. But yeah, some reviews of Asti, Hux, the Snow Trooper, TIE Fighter Pilot, and the other one was the Resistance Trooper as well. So just the last couple of waves of 6-inch. And
nice.
They're all really, really good. Very impressed with them. Did you pick any of them up? I know you're cherry picking some. Was there some that caught your eye that you liked, or?
I haven't grabbed any of the 6-inch figures since. Oh, let's see.
I thought you meant the Asti. He's a really strong.
I haven't seen that wave yet.
He's really good. Very, very good.
Yeah, I'll definitely get that. Yeah, so I'm looking for. I didn't watch your review yet for the Republic Trooper. Which version did you get? The helmet color?
I've seen several. I've seen one with completely white stripes, which I left on the pegs for the person, or I picked it up for someone. I can't remember what we did. But the one I got was a kind of green wash. I've seen a kind of red-brown wash.
Yep.
But I mean, we're talking brush strokes here. It's kind of...
Yeah, I've seen some that are, I mean, pictures anyway, pretty much solid green helmets and solid red helmets. You know, that kind of rust-colored helmets.
Sure.
So,
I mean, until they really put a different facial sculpt underneath it, to me, it's like, paint sometimes is. But then again, I mean, I think when the Ray and the BB-8 we mentioned earlier on, they're dramatically different. So it may appeal to someone else. It just didn't appeal to me so much, the Resistance Trooper, because he's kind of browny, red, green, dirty mud color anyway. So
and you couldn't really pick him out in the movie anyway. So what's the point?
Exactly.
Let's see. Moving on to new toy acquisitions and purchases. Let's see.
I'm getting.
Oh, you got service with a smile there.
I know. Awesome.
I'm holed up here in my work office. We've got
I'm getting hot chocolate in here. This is fantastic. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I was saying new toy acquisitions and purchases. You got some stuff there.
I did. Same. Just we said the figures. Just as I mentioned, I managed to luckily just find these on the pegs and in reasonable condition, and just some other minifigures and stuff. We're going to talk about it more on our little Lego podcast that I do with the guys shortly. But there's a lot of bootleg Lego. Some of the Kylo Rens and BB-8s. They are flawless. They really are. So we'll talk more about Flego, as Scott calls it.
Hook me up, because I want some of those.
It was $10. Yeah. $10 for a Kylo and a Trooper. The Trooper's a little dodgy and a few others, but we'll talk about them. But not that we condone bootleg Lego, and yes, there's a whole debate over this, but when a Kylo costs you $40-50 in a set, and Flego is, I can't complain. I mean, a lot of other stuff, but I could be here all day. So a lot of Pop, Shaun of the Dead Pop and NECA stuff. Aliens continues to drive me nuts, and buying a lot of NECA stuff. So, but no, that's it. I've been pretty late on Star Wars, just the stuff I mentioned, the Lego and the Black Series. What about you?
For me, like I mentioned before, Black Series 3 3/4 inch waves 2 and 3. You know, figures Kylo Ren, Stormtrooper, Poe, Rey, Finn, etc. I picked up the the Disney Infinities Force Awakens figures to go with my other assortment of those. So I was able to just recently pick up the Kylo Ren and Poe, as well as the the Finn and Rey set that you can get. They come packaged together. From Target this week. They were all on sale. Last week, you could buy one, get one 50% off, I believe, on the regular single figures. So I picked up Kylo Ren and Poe then, and this week the 2-pack was available for $10 off. I grabbed that.
Just where you mentioned that, a couple of my Australian buddies, and I saw it today as well. Actually, I should have posted it. Boba Fett fan club shared it as well. The Boba Fett has been spotted in Australia, so it's which kind of corresponded. He mentioned a tweet before Aaron at the Boba Fett fan club, I should say, had said that it was maybe going to be delayed, but it looks like it's turning up in some countries, so it is coming if you're looking for that one too. So there's been a lot of discounts on these Disney Infinity toys, considering it's been
it seems Christmas like every 2 or 3 weeks they do have a sale, like a buy one get one 50% off, or $10 off the 2-pack set sales. So it's pretty decent if you're into the line and just collect the figures like I do.
Exactly.
I also, like I mentioned, picked up the visual dictionary, the cross-section book, and the soundtrack, the Target exclusive soundtrack, which includes the spangly cover. And
is there not a couple of trading cards inside it?
They're not trading cards. They're kind of like, they're almost like coasters. I could pull it out here. That's how I read it. I thought they were trading cards.
I thought it was tops. I was like, oh, okay.
No,
top
they're kind of textured.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Concept art cards. You know, the Kylo Ren art, which is used on the cover of the concept art book, and then the crashed TIE fighter.
Yep.
So they're, I don't know, they're about 4x5 cards, maybe a little bit smaller, but nice textured card stock.
I guess we should also mention, I mean, again, we're just in a lighter show here, but the movie is actually available to buy digitally. That was something that was unusual. Voodoo, Walmart's offering, and I think, was it all? I think it was just Voodoo. I don't think it was anywhere else. Google Play or iTunes? I don't know. But
Disney Movies has it available too. iTunes,
so it's kind of,
you can, it's everywhere.
It's kind of like the early bird starter kit. It's just a box.
Yeah,
it doesn't get you anything. It's just a code to when the movie comes out.
A certificate deal at like Target, and you get like a couple mini posters included in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of unusual. I don't recall anything like that before. The day of the movie or the day after the movie being released, it's available to almost buy. It's very weird, but some nice little IMAX style art cards were inside, I believe, from memory. But it's just about every Walmart, I think, over here. I don't know if overseas, but yeah.
I think that's it.
I think that's it for a little short show. That was a lot. That was a lot of Star Wars.
Always good stuff. It's good to be back after our brief little vacation, mini vacation. With that, we will sign off for this week's show. Thank everyone for watching and sharing and commenting, and thanks for everyone watching over the past year. We'll probably be back next week. You know, we're getting close to Toy Fair again in February, so there's sure to be some leaks and announcements and pre-orders and all that good stuff prior to that. Yeah. You can find me at Yakface.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope on occasion. Where can we find you, sir?
You can find me at flageye.net and all the links to all the stuff. YouTube, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff are all linked on there. So you can see me there. Excellent. So until next show, we will see you all again. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.